Hey, what's up, guys? Tim Rexius here, and this is Keeping It Real with Rexius. I don't even know what episode it is, but today's topic is financing and banking. Honestly, it's been so much fun doing all these podcasts, these Keeping It Real with Rexius, and giving out advice. And this is one of these things I think that sometimes people need to see the trials and tribulations as much as the success, that realizing even at my stage of the game, that we still have problems that we're trying to fight through, and issues that are very hard to deal with. And there's not always a lot of advice out there to be had. It's one of those, oh shit, what do you do moments. So financing wise, I'll just go through a couple things I've done with a couple different companies, and I hope some of you guys can relate to this, and understand that, it happens to all of us. It happens to all of us repetitively, and only the tenacious and those people who have the drive to get through it are the ones who'll be successful in the end. So our gym loan, I'll just be honest, like we weren't really looking to refinance it. Actually, a bank approached us about refinancing our two different gym loans into one. Okay, I'll entertain the idea. I'd love to save an interest rate, and then we had to buy out a former partner, and so obviously we can come up with the money personally, but it's always like nobody sits on that much money, so it's one of those. Okay, let's look at it. Jim's been in the black since 90 days. Are we making a lot of money? No, we keep investing back in the business because it's none of us are trying to provide for our families off of the gym. It's the ultimate side hustle, really. Even though we absolutely love it, but we want to make it the best it can, so we don't take any money out of the business at all. We honestly just personally finance almost everything that we do. But we have two different gym loans for original equipment purchases. So it's a $175,000 combination loan from what we've already put down cash-wise to kill one interest rate. It makes a lot of sense, right? So even with over $750,000 in assets, literally, it's inventory assets, equipment assets, but I've got buyback policies on everything to give it close to 100% value in cash within 90 days on all of this, along with my house and our incomes, and the bank still says no. And I'm like, you guys came to me, like, this is insane. And nice guys, it's always the younger bankers trying to go for it because it makes sense to them. It's always the board of director bankers that are always the issue. But it's just crazy. And they want to see more land. Well, people don't own land like that anymore. And then two, land's way overvalued as it is. We're all waiting for the next crash to happen, which is inevitable anyways. So it's just very old mentality. So that was one. So another bank that had approached me, we had gone out and talking about some other things, franchising, loaning, and talking about operating loans for Rexius and those kind of things. Obviously, as the bigger I get, the more and more money that it is that you have to deal with and balance, and certain times of the month they'll match up with payroll and rent and debt payments, et cetera, taxes and whatnot. So it's always nice to have an operating lines and loans. And so I told them about the gym loan. They're like, "Oh, that's crazy." Okay, this is like the third bank I've done in like the last 6 months. Let me preface that. So even though 2 years in a row we had a negative tax return, well, that just makes me good at my job. Last thing I want to do is pay taxes if I don't have to. And we were able to write off some different inventory issues a couple years ago. Last year we accumulated 3 different businesses and moves, and from one warehouse and triple the size of that warehouse. A lot of investment in the business, which is in my MO. I don't really get my rocks off buying cars and stuff like that because I'm a dad of 6 kids, so I'm pretty basic in that manner. I just keep growing the business and keep doubling down on what I'm doing because, like I always say, if you don't bet on yourself, no one else will. But then my P&L for this year, my profit and loss is fantastic. The assets are there. They have buyback policies, 90 days to 100%, so it's cash. And come back with another no. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like my bank statement has more income coming in per month than what the entire loan was, and it's still no because the board of directors gets to sit there and make that decision on a bank. And I just think people need to understand, from my point of view, like how aggravating this is and how much these banks will never get my business. There's no reason for me to switch if you guys aren't going to believe in me. And I always say this, we've done this in the podcast with the Giovanni podcast. We talked about this before in the past. Go back and watch it on YouTube. Is sometimes it may take you 35 banks to find somebody who actually believes in what you do. Going with a smaller bank where they make the decision there, that the underwriters are there, that's your best bet because you can sell yourself. You can say, this is what's me, take a chance on me, and believe in my vision. And I don't give a shit about tax returns. You all know this. The only time you need to show you make a lot of money in tax return is when you buy a house. Other than that, your entire job is make sure you don't show you make a lot of money. Why would you want to give the government a free a free birthday gift. I mean, that's just stupid. So, but it is one of those that plays into the game. So even though my P&L is good for this year, we'll see more next year. I'm like, no, I'm not paying the IRS more money just so it makes you feel better, especially when I have assets that are worth over 4 times what the loan is. It's just dumb. Most people don't have the assets. We've had this problem with our franchises trying to get financing. So, for all around franchise fee paid, store stock, build out, all said and done, you're looking under $50,000 to start a Rexius franchise. I know what the other ones cost, $250 to $300, but I have a different business model. I'd rather make sure that you can pay off your loan in like less than 3, even though you get a 5 or 7 year note term, because I want a happy franchisee for the next 20 years. I think a good long, low royalty for the next 20 years is way more profitable than watching a bunch of people go belly up. The days of rich old dudes financing a franchise and having some kid run it so they can make some money and not give a shit are over. Look at the Ray Kroc story. That's really how McDonald's found their first stride of success. Taking the guys who had enough money that it didn't matter, the stores didn't do well. Taking a husband and wife, a family that's going to live, eat, and breathe what they do, and that's when they first found their first mode of success. I really model mine after that as well. I don't pitch to absentee owners because, especially in today's marketplace, competing against the internet, relationships are the only thing that really make money that have success. So I really go for the owner-operator, but most people are sitting around with some rich uncle or mom and dad that are going to co-sign shit for them. I didn't. My parents told me no. Thank God they did, because it made me go fight for what it was. I'd put this in the sweat of my own back, my own blood, sweat, and tears, and that means that much more to me. And that's why my franchisees who've been able to get financing really appreciate where they're at. It's just been very hard. I mean, like, these banks won't have a problem co-signing a loan for a $50,000 truck that loses value the second you drive it off the lot. But doing it in a business that can actually produce an income, well, God, that's just crazy. We need to have like 600% over the loan value and everyone's co-signership and personally co-sign and people's trucks and houses and everything. It's just absolutely asinine. And that's why a lot of these banks are going to have a rough coming, I think, in the next like 10 years when a lot of people, they're going to piss me off. I'm going to start my own damn bank. That's how half my businesses have started. But I want people to see that these are still struggles I go with. We're trying to get to the point where I can finance my franchises in-house, which was the purpose of me going to get financing, because a lot of these banks just don't understand. And I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. I would let any of these guys franchise stores if I didn't truly believe in their success and their capabilities. So hey, let me put on there, and we'll figure out an interest rate and do that ourselves. So that's what we're working for, hopefully into 2020, 2021, that we can make that happen, so we can just basically skip the damn banks all in total. That's also why we've had such success. And I've also been very much more selective for who I've let franchise, so I'm not just looking for the payday like so many other companies. I understand that the banks and the boards and their hesitancy when it comes to financing right now. I got the same spiel. Well, GNC is closing 1,000 units. Well, GNC is an old dinosaur that doesn't know how to operate anything, who pays $11,000 a month to rent in a mall. No wonder they're going. It's just ridiculous. They were great in the 90s and they didn't adapt to the times. Then to be the first person in a plaza every time is not exactly the great model for success. Here locally, Complete Nutrition going belly up all over the place. Now, I understand a lot of people lost money. I feel bad for their franchisees. They're the ones that took in the shorts, not the guys who made a bunch of money on it. But it's affecting me as well, because they're seeing that one go belly up and they were millionaires and I'm not. Well, I'm just more tenacious and I have more drive and I have a much better business model for longevity and success. Vitamin Shop just gets sold for, I think, about 60% underneath its appraised value, and they're freaking out. They also didn't have a model for success, in my opinion. Just selling everything in at a loss does not mean anything. It doesn't matter what you sell it for, it's what do you make. And so they're seeing all this in the marketplace, and they can't figure out why this little outfit out of Nebraska is expanding so rapidly. It must be a scheme. Like, listen, I'm not hiring anybody to sell these franchises. I'm doing all this shit in-house. I turned down all those franchise companies because I want to conduct my business morals and values to stay true to what my family means and what it represents. So I just wanted you guys to see that even I, at my stage, have struggles in dealing with this. It's extremely aggravating, but it's also humbling in some aspects, and it does teach me certain things about what I do and don't want to do. Bank statement financing, I had the one bank, well, you're paying a high interest rate. Yeah, but I got it approved in 20 minutes. And just because you see things in this marketplace as a detriment to the marketplace in retail, because a lot of these banks have obviously financed a lot of these commercial real estate properties that are going up, but that's just a lot of big businesses that never adapted to the times. Your Sears and your Hallmarks and all these businesses. For people who understand owner-operators are the ones that really create relationships that are long-lasting business partners, it's not a problem. I'm just hoping it brings rent prices down more than anything else. But what they look as a detriment to the business, I look as an opportunity. So I'll get bank statement financing. I'll pay the higher interest rate, and I'll make it work and still be successful like I always have. I just hope some of you guys can take this as motivation, understand that no matter what level you're at, the hustle doesn't stop at 2 years or 3 or even at 9 years in business. It continuously goes, and it's those who are willing to drive and continuously go and not take no for an answer are the ones who are going to be standing in the end. And I guarantee you that's going to be me. So thanks, guys.